Franchising is another form of ownership you need to know within AS1. You need to know what the idea of it is, and then also franchisor, franchisee, and the benefits and drawbacks of each. Franchising itself is a really good way to grow your business. Two key parts within it is the franchisor, who will sell the right to another person to trade under that business's name. The franchisee then pays a fee each year, and also an outright amount of money at the start to trade under that business's name. Really good way to grow your brand quickly, whether it's within its own country or worldwide. Common ones you actually see is a lot of food places: KFC, Pizza Hut, McDonald's, Burger King, Subway, all franchises. Advantages to the franchisee, so the person who actually buys into the franchise. There's a lot less risks because it's a well-known, proven idea. So, compared to starting up on your own, you'll already have a customer base, and you know that the idea should work because it's worked in other places. Because that brand is so well known and the reputation for maybe high quality and things, you should increase your sales, attract customers in straight away, more chance of higher sales profits than you would if you were maybe a sole trader that are starting out as a company but starting out with your own brand. Another key advantage is you get training from the franchisor. They'll maybe support you to start out. They usually will support you and guide you in the operations, things like supplies, staff, and all that. And also there's national advertising campaigns within being the franchisee. So like think of McDonald's and the billboards, TV ads and that. So you're getting a lot more power and a lot more awareness of the brand. And you're getting that support as well, especially maybe if you're starting on your own for the first time or that. It can be really vital. Banks are more likely to lend you, so the whole idea of economies of scale, and that would come into this, but that would be more from the franchisor's point of view. But you might even be able to get your supplies and that cheaper with being the franchisee, because the franchisor's able to get their supplies cheaper. However, the big issues are that you do not get to put your own stamp on the business, because you're taking obviously under the brand name, under the franchise, you have to follow their rules, and that can be quite restrictive, especially as someone who's an entrepreneur, very creative, and takes away your own kind of chances, say, to put your own stamp on it. It can be things as, say, layout, decoration, but even if you think of a restaurant like the menu, like you said, like McDonald's in France, McDonald's in Dublin, McDonald's in Uri, menu's quite similar from it. So that's one thing. The other thing is it's quite costly. You pay a startup fee, which can, like for McDonald's, it's $250,000 minimum. And then annually you pay, usually either, some franchises have the rule of percentage of sales, some franchises have the rule of percentage of profits, but it's known as royalties. So you have to give up a percentage, usually of your profits each year, over to the franchisor, who, maybe hasn't put in as much effort as obviously you, but they're still getting a percentage of the profit, so it can be quite frustrating. As we were saying there, like, you maybe also don't get to respond to maybe local situations. For example, if we think of McDonald's, that they might be able to put on like a special deal at lunchtime to try and compete with maybe other fast food in Uri or whatever, because obviously the menu and all and the deals come from national, and they mightn't know what's going on a local level, compared to if you run your own business, you could respond locally if you needed to. Suppliers and that, you can't maybe use your own suppliers that you'd like to. Maybe you have the option of a cheaper local supplier, but you can't use them because there's a restriction on it, and they dictate what suppliers you use. The other big thing is, like, say if you go to McDonald's in Belfast and you get a bad meal, you'll associate nearly every McDonald's with that. So another franchisee might be performing as well, or might be as high quality as you, but then that can impact your reputation and that, because it's kind of all associated as one. Advantages to being the franchisor, so the kind of owner within the overall business. You get a percentage of the royalties. You get fees to you get a fee off the franchisee to start off the business and that too. So it's a really good way of raising finance and getting money in quite quickly to grow your business. And that franchisee is doing the day-to-day running, so it takes less pressure off the business as well. Secondly, your business is able to grow, as I said, very quickly, so the economies of scale element comes in there, whether it's like purchasing power with suppliers, because you're usually they dictate what supplies you buy, or the franchisor dictates what supplies are bought, so they're able to maybe negotiate a discount. And the rules are still being followed. It's another key point, because with the franchise agreement and that, so you still get a lot of control, and you can dictate, make sure the quality is staying high. However, you do still lose an element of control, because you're handing it over to a franchisee to run the day-to-day run on your behalf, and there's kind of a fear in that for any franchisor doing that, and that loss of control. The other thing is your reputation could be severely impacted if you maybe allow a franchisee into your group who isn't a good quality, not running it well, and it impacts then the rest of the business. The other thing with it would be probably the opposite to economies of scale, diseconomies of scale, where the control, the coordination, communication issues, especially if your franchise becomes very large, and that loss of control, higher costs could actually come out of it, because maybe communication isn't as good the more and more franchisees you bring in. So there are issues with it too. But overall, that's your franchising and what you need to know.